well, if you allow me to be a bit emotional, I have a duty to help you adjust to a changing world. But I can't and I won't shield you from those wider forces. And when the world changes, you have to change with it. New business models, new technologies, new competition, name it. It is a challenge. And it is fun, by the way. And in the future, we may therefore have to be tougher. And tougher, how? Setting criteria for allocating new spectrum, so to ensure effective competition and be certain of the value an allocation will generate. And it should also be clear that those who do hold spectrum rights and those sectors or services for whom specific parts of the spectrum have been reserved will have to use it fully and efficiently. And if the potential of a spectrum allocation is not being exploited to its maximum, if the exploitation is not the most efficient way of delivering social, cultural or economic benefits, then it should go to another application or service instead. We should not therefore be afraid, in duly justified case, to reallocate spectrum which is not fully or not efficiently used, or which becomes available following technological developments. It's all talking about an efficient use of spectrum, and that can and may also require that spectrum rights in many bands become tradable across Europe. And if we, the policymakers, do not encourage the provision of communication services on a cross-border basis, they may never take root. Why should communications companies not be able to aggregate spectrum, not only in quantity, but also geographically and under common conditions, in a way that best matches their business models? There is no reason why in certain cases spectrum should not be offered on a European basis, and our approach on mobile satellite services provides a good example in that respect. Making spectrum available at the right level could make it more attractive, could result in better services for users, and could deliver more revenues for governments. I take heart, Mr. Chair, from the fact that some of the spectrum used for national security and public protection is being reassessed voluntarily. And if agreement can be found on such sensitive terrain, then surely it is worth exploring whether, in certain cases, a coordinated approach agreed among all institutions at EU level could lead not only to more efficient use of spectrum overall, but even more importantly, to the provision of new innovative public services. The EU is also failing, if you allow me to say so, to use its weight in international negotiations to gain the fair and good outcomes for citizens and companies operating here. We have shown that we can take decisive steps to modernize spectrum use within the Union, but we must address the slow pace of change in institutions such as the ITU. The way in which international negotiations are conducted has to be in line with the respective EU and national competences, of course. And in areas covered by EU rules, there has to be a common EU position and a proper coordination. There are several areas where this will be essential in the negotiations that will place in the ITU in 2012. Just to conclude, Mr. Chair, I would like to thank you and you all for the contributions you have already made to this very interesting discussion, But I'm looking forward to the contributions you are making, you will certainly make today. I promise you to pick up on the output from this event and from the Radio Spectrum Policy Group, as well as from all the contributions that will be submitted in the framework of the ongoing public consultation. And on that basis, I will be back with a proposal for an ambitious policy programme to be considered by the Parliament and by the Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. In 1992, a Danish media scientist concluded that the Internet would never be more than a forum for technical specialists, because, as he wrote, normal people are not fond of clicking. The future is very difficult. It's a very difficult thing. Commissioner Kroes, I think you did a fine and interesting speech on trying to look into the future and not the past. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome our next speaker. It is Minister of State, Telecommunication and Information Society from Spain, Mr. Francisco Ros Perán. Welcome. I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. I've been told that there is going to be translation. Is that true? Yes? Yes, it was important to check. Well, I will pass into Spanish, mainly because what I have written here is Spanish, and it will be difficult to start working on a simultaneous translation.